Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Friday, the 16th day of August. We are over halfway through the month. National Tell a Joke Day today. Do you have any jokes you want to tell? Never mind.
There once was a girl.
I saw the smile and no. National Roller Coaster Day. National Authenticity Day. She's authentically naughty. National Backflow Prevention Day. Independent Worker Day. She's pretty independent over there, too. True Love Forever Day. Oh. World Bratwurst Day. You know what? I do love bratwurst. National Airborne Day, National Rum Day, Hawaiian Shirt Day, and National Men's Grooming Day. All of that happening on the 14th, no, not the 14th, the 16th day, whatever today is of August. Also on this Friday, I've got a guest joining me, Peter Horton. He's an actor, and he's in the movie The Children of the Corn from 1984.
Okay.
He's like the adult that was in the car when they were driving through the area. And he's been in several other things, too. He's got a new project that he's working on. It's like a documentary, and I think he's the producer, maybe? Going to chat all about that coming up.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Interestingly, 23% of women say they would actually pay their partner to give them a foot massage. I've offered to give my wife a foot massage, and she kicks me.
I don't like people touching my feet.
Come on, let me give you a foot massage. No? 23% of women like that. So I guess that's still a minority.
It is a minority.
And 30% of men say they have borrowed a razor from their significant other. I have done that, and I've regretted it every time. So
Why?
because it, like when you leave a razor in the shower, you know, and I'll use that to shave, and then I'm like, oh man, it's like ripping my face up. So I don't know what you're using that thing for, but apparently it's a lot different. And then I watched a video one time that said that it is a lot different. So yeah. Careful if you're doing that. Surveys and studies and such brought to... she's my wife, by the way. I want to make sure for anybody that just happened to be going, wow, that's a bit much. We are married. Okay, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that American microbiologist Maurice Ralph Hallman is credited with developing 8 of the 14 routine vaccinations that are used today?
I
Being
did not.
the vaccine for measles and mumps and hepatitis A and B and chickenpox and meningitis and pneumonia
Wow.
and hemophilia influenza. He also discovered that chlamydia was not a virus. It was actually thought to be a virus before. Then he's like, nope, it's not. So can't fix that one. So
And it's also a beautiful, beautiful name.
It is, but you don't want to name somebody that. That'd be good. But congrats to that dude. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com. The trailer for the upcoming live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has been released. The new Snow White, Rochelle Zegler, and the new Evil Queen, Gal Gadot, were both on hand at D3 to address the crowd. Zegler called her role, quote, the honor of a lifetime, saying any little girl, if you get to put on a Disney princess dress and be, you know, let her be for a day, let alone 6 months, it's been the most amazing experience. So it's a reimagining of the 1937 animated film centered on a young Snow White who flees the castle after her stepmother orders the huntsman to kill her. Snow White escapes to a cottage where she finds 7 dwarves, and it is set to release on March 21st, 2025. Do you think I had to explain that? Do you think
Probably
there's
not.
anybody
I
that
think
does-
most people are familiar with
Well,
the
you know,
story.
I started going through the explanation, then I thought, just in case you've never heard of Snow White, you know, and again, maybe somebody hasn't. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by Radiosavings.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over, I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Have you ever seen ketchup that was labeled as fancy ketchup?
Yes.
You know that's legally required to be thicker than regular ketchup. So
Well, I know that there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Like it really is a fancier ketchup.
yeah, it is. So it's not just that they're going, oh, we're going to call this fancy.
Right.
It's it's a thing that is distinguished from ketchup by putting that on the label, the word fancy. It is legally required to be thicker than what you could put on the label if it's just ketchup. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Now I know, because I see that on ketchup once in a while. I'm like,
I do like ketchup.
I feel fancy.
a
When I
lot.
use fancy ketchup, if I'm dipping fries, I hold
You
a
hold
pinky
your
up.
pinky.
I'm like, I'm feeling fancy. I don't really do that, but I just thought it would be funny to say it. Heidi clearly didn't think
You do
so.
not need to clarify that.
I just wanted to make
people.
sure people didn't go, oh, that guy's a weirdo. No, I'm just pretending to be a weirdo. Scientists say they have discovered an amazingly resilient plant that may someday help astronauts colonize Mars, and it's not some genetically engineered freaky creation. It's a thing called moss. Chinese botanists put the desert-dwelling moss Centrinchia canaveris, something like that, through a series of tests simulating the harsh Martian environment, and they found that it is not only radiation tolerant, it can also survive extreme conditions that would kill most other plants. The Chinese Academy of Science researchers wrote that the plant is a promising candidate pioneer plant for colonizing extraterrestrial environments, laying the foundation for building biologically sustainable human habitats beyond Earth. End quote. Wow.
Who wants to go do this?
I got a headache just reading that thing. So, I don't know.
Do you have an interest?
No.
No.
I kind of like it right here where I'm at. I don't even want to, I don't even want to go.
I don't even want to visit it. I don't.
No.
No, I'm good.
I have no interest in going to Mars. But for those of you who want to do it, like, have fun. That'd be cool. I was having like a major case of deja vu while I was reading that story. Have we talked about this before, or did I actually pre-read this thing?
I don't remember seeing anything about moss.
Okay.
But I
Scoop
might
of
have
the day.
been zoning you out.
I might have actually just pre-read it. That could be. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
We have Peter Horton joining us right now from Children of the Corn, from Grey's Anatomy, 30-something, New Amsterdam. So many amazing projects, Peter. You are a blessed man. You get to do some fun stuff, don't you?
It's the nature of the job, I must say. I am very blessed in what I do.
And there's a fun new 4-part series we get to chat about today, Roots So Deep. Let's talk a little bit about this.
Well, this is unlike everything else I've done. This is actually nonfiction. This is real. Peter Bick is the director and creator of it. Not only is he incredibly persistent and talented at what he does, he's the moderator of it. He's the host of it. He's on camera and incredibly entertaining and informative. This is a documentary about one of the significant possible solutions to climate change. He's come up with this documentary that describes it in ways that are personal, that are entertaining, and that really give you hope around this issue. Our problem with climate change isn't that we can't beat it. The question is do we have time to beat it? Do we need to be pulling in every single possible way of charging this windmill? And this one's really, really effective, impactful, and something that gives me a lot of hope around this issue. And it's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Roots So Deep. It's a 4-part series. How did you get involved in this project?
Well, I had been speaking at an environmental conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, and Peter was there and started talking about this documentary because he even showed a little bit of it. And I got just captured by it because it was such an obvious piece of low-hanging fruit on how we can really solve this, because it not only tackle climate change in a significant way, at least a good portion of it, it's really good for the ranchers and farmers who raise cattle. It takes the issue of cattle, which traditionally has been seen as a real problem for climate change, but it takes that issue and Tai Chi's it. It turns it into something that really can help us with it and saves money for the ranchers themselves and makes their livelihood solvent and a way for them to make some money as opposed to having to have second jobs and things like that to stay on the ranch. And it's really good for the wildlife. It's really one of those things that are sort of win-win propositions, but most of them aren't. But this one really, really is. And it's backed up by credible science, which you get to see in the documentary as well. You see these wacky scientists do their thing, whether it's studying birds, soil, health, you name it. They go through kind of a whole list of ways to try and verify that this indeed is what it claims to be, and indeed it is. And you get to see the process of ranchers, because the point of the film is that he picked 5 pairs of ranchers who are neighbors. One of the ranchers is what's called adaptive paddock grazing, which is a whole new way of grazing that really is an old way, because it's the way the buffalo did it, and it's the way that really can have an impact on climate change. And his neighbor is a conventional farmer, and they get to know each other, and they get to discuss what's going on in the two ranches, and you get to see if indeed the conventional farmer is moved by it.
Yeah.
It's a question that's asked throughout the whole thing, and so it's even got a little bit of a mystery to it, and a story to it, which is really the best part of it. You really feel so much. You get to know these people. You get to know the insides of their lives and their challenges and what they're up against, and you get to see a solution that just really seems like a benefit to everybody.
And I love that the solution is coming from the cattle as well, but it's just moving them around so they're not all in one giant area. They put them in smaller areas, and they move that smaller area around on a regular basis. And it looks like a little bit of extra work, but it also seems like it's working really, really well for the farmers that are doing that.
And it's easy. I mean, that's the other thing that's so kind of shocking about it is moving fences and creating paddocks. They, like the buffalo, they come along, they eat the plants, but you move them before they really eat the plants too much. The plants can then go through photosynthesis, which is what they do. They go into sort of extreme photosynthesis where they're pulling down carbon from the air, putting it in the soil where it belongs and where the microbes need it, creating a whole microculture there of healthy plants, animals, insects, kind of everything. And it's a really exciting message in the middle of a really challenging issue.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for being involved in this project.
My pleasure. Thank you for shedding some light on it. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, the program is called Roots So Deep. You can see the devil down there. I've got a link to the information. It's a 4-part docuseries, and I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. Recently, Charlie started wearing a bracelet from VitaTech Healing.
I'm an avid golfer, and I was going to give it up this year. I just deteriorated that much. Now I'm back to golfing, enjoying it, having a good time. I just can't stress enough how good it is.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how VitaTech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
To your fish, tapping on the aquarium glass is as loud as a rock concert. So don't do that. Yeah, it's not
That's
nice.
why I give mine little earplugs.
They don't even have ears. Wait, do they? Do fish have ears? They must. I don't know. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first ever movie with outtakes in the credits was Smokey and the Bandit, 1977.
Oh,
That was good.
I love that
Very
movie.
Good. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You can learn High Valerian language from Game of Thrones through an online course. Of course you can. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The chance of you dying on the way to get a lottery ticket is actually better than you winning the lottery.
Yeah,
so that's good to know.
I'm sure.
What a bright way to... We're not ending there. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There are 92 known cases of nuclear bombs lost at sea. That's no better to end
Whoa.
there. 92? Holy cow. Several fun, well, kind of scary fact there at the end. Several fun facts, though. Now you know. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
If you want a better credit card, it can be easy and not so hard. Better BetterCreditCards.com. Earn more points and get more perks. Get what you're looking for in a card that works. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com.
That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. The average person will say this 5 times today. What do you think it is? I bet we say it more than the average person.
I don't
Thank
know.
you.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. I say
Yeah, I
thank
say
you a
thank
lot.
you a lot.
I also say I'm sorry a lot. I don't mean to, but I'm just sorry all the time.
You never say it to me.
I do too, all the time. You've trained me so well. That's why it's just like the first thing I say. Somebody will say, "Excuse me, John." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. What did I do?" Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Charlie has Parkinson's. He started wearing a bracelet from Vitatech Healing, and he's noticed a difference even while sleeping.
Once I got in bed, I couldn't roll over. I couldn't move. I was just whatever position I was in, just a chore to get out of bed. And now everything is so much better.
Click on radiosavings.com to hear more of Charlie's story and find out how Vitatech Healing is helping others with ADHD, fibromyalgia, autism, and more. Plus, find radio-only savings by clicking the link at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Taco Bell is opening what they're calling an early retirement community for their rewards members. Fast food chain will host a 2-day elder-inspired experience. It says this weekend, so I think this is already over with because I'm pretty sure I got this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. They're going to do it at a place called the Cantinas Resort, San Diego. A bunch of Taco Bell's biggest fans were able to get together and experience what life would be like as a retiree, enjoying things like crochet classes, pickleball, and poolside cocktails.
Well, that's kind of fun.
The company said this was a chance to embrace the fuel youth culture, slow living, senior at heart lifestyle. I don't understand why they did this, but Taco Bell Rewards members were forking out $150 for their weekend membership and included an overnight accommodation, by the way, and dining. They'd be able to enjoy early morning tea times, aerobic classes, and arts and crafts before drifting off to sleep at 8 p.m. after an early bird dinner. So,
I mean, it's not my idea of a good time, but
the thing that's weird is why is Taco Bell doing that?
Why are they involved?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's this coming weekend. It's probably last weekend or whenever. Most likely you missed it, but did you really miss it?
Did you?
Did you really? Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. It has been so long since we've done questions plaguing humanity.
Oh, yeah.
Heidi loves these.
Actually, I don't mind these too
If
much.
someone says you're in denial, but you say, no, I'm not.
Ha ha ha.
Now, what if you're not in denial? What do you say? All right. How about this one? How can Slim Chance and Fat Chance be the same thing? And a wise man and a wise guy are opposite things. Yeah. I never thought of that. How about this one? Does an onion basically force you to cry over its dead body?
Oh,
yeah. See? Another question plaguing humanity. Isn't your age just the number of laps you've done around a giant fireball in the center of the solar system? Pretty much.
It is.
Why can we drink a drink, but we can't food any food? Yeah, that's true. You ever wonder how many people's pictures you've been in the background of without even knowing it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about, is sand called sand because it's between sea and land? Sand. Yeah. And our final one,
interesting.
is the birth certificate basically a baby receipt with no refund or return policy? These are the questions plaguing humanity.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis by allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of radiosavings.com. Quote today is from Richard Lewis. I like Richard Lewis. He says, when you're in love, it's the most glorious 2.5 days of your life.
He's no longer with us.
I know. It was so sad that he passed away. Very, very funny guy. Again, quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. Here's the headline for you, Heidi. Heroic teen saves a woman from a submerged car in a lake.
Oh, my
Holy
gosh.
cow, this happened in Michigan. Teenager is being hailed now as a hero for rescuing a woman who drove her car into a lake. 15-year-old John Angelo was enjoying a peaceful day of fishing. Then he noticed a car crash into the lake.
Oh, my gosh.
Without hesitation, he sprinted to the rocky area where the incident occurred. Teaming up with another Good Samaritan, they swam toward the vehicle. It says, we saw the car and we knew we had to act quickly, John recounted. The window was open, but the doors wouldn't budge. We had to convince the woman to climb out through the window. The woman, once safely on shore, John learned there might be a child trapped inside.
Oh, my gosh.
She said there's a 3-year-old in there. John dove back into the water and broke the rear window with a rock and searched for the child. After a thorough check, he confirmed nobody else was inside. John's
Why
mother,
would
Beth...
she have said that?
Well, John's mother, Beth Angelo, couldn't be prouder of her son's actions. The community support has been overwhelming. Glory to God. I hope this experience keeps John humble and mature, she says. The woman was rushed to a hospital where her condition was unknown. However, it is clear that John's quick thinking and bravery most likely saved her life. So apparently, they were asking if there's anybody else in the car. And I don't know if she just couldn't remember. I have no idea. But from the sounds of it, there was nobody else in the car. And it didn't really explain it very well in that story, did it?
It sounded like the lady said, yeah, there may or may not be someone else in my
3-year-old.
car.
I don't know. I stole this car. No, I don't. I don't know. And certain she was not thinking clearly. You know, she just crashed her car into a lake. It doesn't
Right.
say why. I don't know what was going on. But all I know is this story could have had a very, very, very bad ending if it hadn't been for John and the unnamed person who helped John in that particular story. So kudos to you guys. You are heroes.
Heroes.
Yeah. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.